Hi everyone, this is John Girardi with Right to Life of Central California, bringing you another installment of our 40 videos for 40 Days for Life series. 40 Days for Life is the international campaign of prayer and presence outside abortion clinics throughout the country and throughout the world. If you want to learn more about our campaign in Fresno, go to rtlcc.org and scroll down and find the place where you can sign up, or you can just give us a call at 559-229-2229 or email us at info@rtlcc.org. Today, I want to talk about something that a lot of pro-lifers don't realize about the Trump administration. A lot of people herald President Trump as the most pro-life president ever. And it's definitely true that Trump did a lot of good things when it comes to the abortion issue. I think with his Supreme Court picks, we got to wait and see how they rule when it comes to the big challenge to Roe v. Wade, the Dobbs decision. And he certainly did a lot of good things that even George W. Bush never did. He cut off Title X funding for abortion providers. This was a source of about $60 million a year in federal revenue that would go right into Planned Parenthood's pocket, and Trump was actually successful in cutting that off. It was something that the George W. Bush administration never dared to do. But there was one area where President Trump, I think, really kind of failed when it came to the pro-life position, and it's been sort of, I think, more and more confirmed over the course of time. And that was that he never got rid of the head of the National Institutes of Health, the guy who is actually Anthony Fauci's boss, Dr. Francis Collins. Many of you have probably heard about Dr. Collins in the news. He's been a key figure throughout the COVID pandemic as one of the faces of the federal government's COVID response. Dr. Fauci has been a little bit more out front. And one of the things to understand about both him and Dr. Fauci is what their role is. Dr. Collins is the head of the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Fauci is the head of the, I believe it's the National Institute for Infectious and Autoimmune Diseases Institute. Anyway, it's a subsection of NIH. Their job is to provide federal grants to researchers studying various kinds of health-related issues. For Dr. Fauci, it's focusing on infectious and autoimmune diseases. For Dr. Collins, it's broader than that. It's even more stuff. NIAID is under the National Institutes of Health. Well, Dr. Collins was appointed by Barack Obama in 2009, and he was appointed for one very clear reason. Dr. Collins was a fanatical supporter of embryo-destructive stem cell research, and it also turns out that he was a big supporter of fetal tissue research, doing scientific research using the bodies of children, usually children who had been aborted. This research thrived during the Obama era, and it's probably a lot of the reason why there was this market for entities like Planned Parenthood to sell the body parts of babies to middlemen who would then sell it to researchers. So Planned Parenthood would have aborted children. They would sell the bodies to these middlemen, and these middlemen would sell the bodies of aborted children to researchers at various universities who were all receiving grants from the federal government, from the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Collins and Dr. Fauci, in certain areas, was overseeing all of that, was approving all of that, were giving away federal grants to fund that kind of research. Furthermore, Dr. Collins was such a huge and enthusiastic supporter of embryo-destructive stem cell research, and yet for some bizarre reason, he was always sort of painted as a moderate, as someone who was friendly and amenable to conservatives. He was an evangelical Christian, and so it was sort of thought that he was almost this kind of nonpartisan ally to pro-life Christians on the right, and that was just never the case. We at Right to Life advocated that President Trump remove him back when President Trump first took office, and Trump never did so. I think, especially looking at the ways in which Dr. Collins and Dr. Fauci undermined the president during COVID, he probably regrets that now. And I would say that Dr. Collins, who has just stepped down from the National Institutes of Health, I think his legacy is a shameful one. He perpetuated the federal funding with millions and millions and millions of dollars of horrific experiments using the bodies of aborted children and the bodies of the stem cells of aborted embryos. It's a really horrific legacy, and it's one of the saddest aspects of the one real black mark on the life issue in the Trump administration. A lot of stuff that wasn't necessarily in Trump's control, but this 100% was. And It's the one thing I sort of really regret, and I'd bet money that Trump regrets it too. For Right to Life of Central California, I'm John Girardi.